McLaren has unveiled a new flagship hypercar that will continue the glorious dynasty of the F1 (1992 to 2000) and P1 (2013 to 2015) models. The car is called the McLaren W1, and it is the most powerful road hypercar in the history of the brand. At the same time, it became the first model with a completely new power plant, elements of which will subsequently appear on other McLarens. It is based on the MCLA, McLaren carbon fiber lightweight architecture. Platform, already familiar from the younger Artura model. It is a carbon fiber aerocell monocoque, and there is no separate front subframe, only crash boxes. The pushrod suspension with horizontal shock absorbers is attached directly to the monocoque. At the rear, the aluminum subframe is preserved, on which the power plant and double wishbone suspension with familiar struts are mounted. The hybrid system is based on a new V8 4.0 gasoline engine with the code MPH8. It has a block with a 90-degree angle of collapse and two dual-flow turbochargers on the sides. The engine produces 929 horsepower and 900 Nm, while it can be spun up to 9,200 RPM. The gearbox is an 8-speed robot with 2 clutches, but without a reverse gear. The hypercar has an electric reverse. The E-module of its own design includes an axial traction electric motor, 346 horsepower, 440 Nm, a control unit, and a traction battery with a capacity of only 1.4 kilowatt-hours. That is, the electric add-on has become almost twice as powerful as that of the previous flagship P1, but at the same time the battery capacity has been radically reduced. It was 4.7 kilowatt-hours, and there is no longer the possibility of recharging from a socket. On electric traction, the McLaren W1 can travel only 2 kilometers, but the entire E-module weighs only 20 kilograms, 3 times less than the entire electrical system of the P1 model. The peak output of the power plant is 1,275 horsepower and 1,340 Nm versus 916 horsepower and 900 Nm for the previous flagship. And no all-wheel drive. McLaren honors tradition and produces only rear-wheel drive cars. The differential is electronically controlled. The dry weight of the coupe is only 1,399 kilograms. That is only 4 kilograms more than the P1 model. Acceleration to 100 kilometers per hour takes 2.7 seconds, to 200 kilometers per hour, 5.8 seconds, while for the P1 model, these exercises took 2.8 and 6.8 seconds, respectively. The maximum speed is limited to the same 350 km per hour, but the main advantage over its predecessor is not in speed, but in aerodynamics. McLaren W1 spent 350 hours in a wind tunnel, while engineers optimized its aerodynamic quality. The coupe has an active splitter at the front. An additional air intake for the internal combustion engine is installed on the roof. Even the aluminum suspension arms have a verified profile so as not to create strong turbulence. And at the stern, there is an active long tail, a movable spoiler, which can not only change the angle of attack. In the most extreme driving mode, race, the entire spoiler moves 300 millimeters back to stabilize the airflow. In this configuration, the plumage of the hypercar can create a downforce equivalent to 1 ton at a speed of 280 kilometers per hour. The rear spoiler accounts for 650 kilograms. For comparison, the previous McLaren P1 model's total downforce did not exceed 600 kilograms. Also, in race mode, there are also comfort and sport. The suspension reduces the ground clearance by 37 millimeters in the front and 18 millimeters in the rear. The McLaren W1 is equipped with carbon ceramic brakes, 6-piston mechanisms at the front, 4-piston at the rear, and semi-slick Pirelli P0 Trofeo RS tires. The passport braking distance from 100 km per hour is only 29 meters, and from 200 km per hour, 100 meters. Interestingly, the McLaren W1 has gull-wing doors, although its predecessors were equipped with butterfly doors. The seats are fixed tightly. Only the steering wheel, along with the instrument panel, and the pedal assembly are adjustable. This allowed not to inflate the size of the wheelbase. It is only 10 millimeters longer than the P1 model, 2,680 millimeters. There is a luggage area behind the seats. The equipment includes a media system with an 8-inch screen, There is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. But the most notable details in the cabin are the sun visors. They are 2.5mm thick carbon fiber plates. The McLaren W1 costs at least $2.1 million, but it is no longer available to order. The entire planned run of 399 cars was sold out before the premiere. The previous McLaren P1 was released in a run of 375 units, not counting the extreme special versions, and 106 McLaren F1 supercars were made.